Hello, my loves. Welcome back to this channel. Another video here on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny, and I'm so happy to have you here. So just a moment of appreciation for this very adorable spaceship sweater now that that important work is done. Let's jump into today's video. I want to talk with you about something that I really haven't talked about or shared about a whole lot. It's very personal, but it's also like, I think, going to really resonate with a lot of souls out there, a lot of very multi-dimensional rainbow warrior kind of souls. And I think that you're really going to see yourself in this description and in these signs and in what it feels like to be a hybrid. So to be a hybrid soul, to not have just one or even two or even three, like main pieces of your active soul nature. So what I mean by that is, obviously we all have the human piece because we're here on earth and we chose that. So it's really important not to bypass that and not to like think of it as less important as the other pieces, because it's maybe the most important piece, right? Because of where we are. And the reason why it's so important is if you are an awakened soul that truly feels like you have volunteered to be here, there was an orb that just went by, and that you have a mission for being here. So if you're a real rainbow warrior, a lot of this is going to apply to you, but really hear this part, okay? This part is that you know that you volunteered to be here on earth because your whole life you've had this really strong feeling within that you are here for a reason. Like, there's a reason that I'm here. There's a purpose for me being here. I have a purpose. I'm here to do something, and you can't remember what it is a lot of the time, and it can get really frustrating. But the feeling, the urgency that it's there, that is a true rainbow warrior, which likely means that you are going to be also a hybrid like me. So the souls that really feel this way, I mean, not every soul that has a mission and a purpose will be a rainbow warrior hybrid, but a lot of you will be. And I think that it's more people than I think, because I haven't talked about this enough to really see how many people are going to resonate. So I'm really like, I'm just kind of putting this out there. And if no one resonates, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm just a rare little unicorn. But I have a feeling that a lot of people will. So the first piece again is that human piece, right? So we're talking about what it feels like to be a hybrid soul. And it means that you have a lot of different pieces to your soul that are active. Because I know that we all have a lot of different pieces to our soul. Anyone, any literal person could sit down with me and I could do like an Akashic reading for them. And I would see they could keep coming back and coming back and coming back. And we would go through hundreds of lifetimes together. There's no way you could do it all in one session. Everybody has a lot of lifetimes, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it just is. But what the difference here is between what I would consider just someone with a lot of past lives and a hybrid soul, like what I'm talking about, is that you have more facets active. They're online, they're active, they are often taking turns and you're flipping through them, sometimes within one day, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, sometimes it takes longer to go through them. But they're all active. They're not dormant. They're not just stories or beliefs or thoughts about lifetimes that you've had or memories. They're truly alive inside of you with their own gifts, voices, personalities, and a lot of the time, like opinions and different things like that. And it truly is not multiple personality disorder, or disassociation or any kind of human term like that. And maybe some people get misdiagnosed, though I don't know. I certainly am not an expert to speak on that, but I can see how that could happen. Because when you have so many facets active, we'll just talk about what that looks like, what your life looks like. So let me first put into perspective the things that are active within me right now. And I may not even be able to like pull them all forward. There's so many, but some are more minor. So I'm only going to pull the major facets for you. I'm going to pull forward major facets of my soul that are completely different from one another, that are all main players in my life and have been for a long time. So obviously the first one is human. So me playing the character of a woman named Jenny right now, right? And then after that, I would say the Orion's belt connection, which is very blue avian for me. And feeling like I am one, but also having a lot of my spirit guides be that. A lot of avian beings always around me, mostly blue avians, and having like a special, like the blue avians for me are like, I have one particular guide that's my activator. So that's the one that's always stretching my capacity to hold more or higher frequencies, and to help me to activate others. So they all kind of have their own purpose as well. And interestingly, I didn't write this down, but I want to say this now before I forget. Each one of these pieces also has their own sounding light language, which is coming from me, but it's like, again, it's like if my soul was a diamond, the soul sits here in the high heart. It's whatever facet turns forward at that time. It can change for what a client needs. It can change for what project I'm working on. It can just change for what, I guess, just divine orchestration and divine timing. And I just have learned to really just go with the flow of that, knowing that it's going to change a lot of personal things for me too. So the facets for me are human, blue avian. The next one is very strongly ancient Egypt, and not that I feel that I was Hathor or Isis, but working with them closely as like a priestess that works, in the temples of those two beautiful goddesses. A Lyran, very strong Lyran connection, a female lioness that I. So again, each one of this video would be too long, but I was just thinking like, oh, and here's what she helps me with. Each one of these has like a way that they work with me, but maybe it's enough to just say that. There's also an Andromedan, especially like I think present right now, probably facing forward right now would probably be a very Andromedan energy, because right now I'm teaching Weaver of Light, which is very Andromedan, and it's all about like weaving light energy and creation matter and being a very powerful energy worker and healer. That's very Andromedan. But I feel such a strong piece of myself that is Metatron as well. So like Ascended Master, working with sacred geometry, and like almost like a mini oversoul feeling, something with like such a high perspective that can look down at my life from higher above and make sense of things and look at my soul contracts and see how things are going and plan for things and understand just like bigger concepts. I've always felt, whenever I create I do sacred spaces often, multiple times a day, which is like a mini meditation where I call in my main facets, my main guides like this. And Metatron is somebody that I speak to every single day and work with every single day. And then I have a very strong unicorn connection. And for a while, that's all it was. It was like so powerful. And everything was about unicorns and white and crystalline. And it was just very heavy in me. And then the last one, and maybe the first or second one that ever came forward for me, was a Grand Central Sun angel. There's like a video on this channel from years ago of me having my first interaction with a Grand Central Sun being, a golden angel with wings. So these facets are all active within me, making me like an active hybrid soul with an active hybrid mission, because I'm not really niched down the way a lot of people that come to me randomly. My specialty is Star Nation's niches for people, especially a lot of like people that want to be spiritual business owners or are spiritual business owners. They really come to me a lot in my mentorship Sovereign Creator Codex, and I like dial down for them like a general idea of them thinking, oh, I'm an energy healer, and I like bring that into such a laser focus point and find out exactly from their Star Nations alliances exactly what they're here to do. And it's very niche and very specific. Like, for instance, like a mantis healer coming here to heal nervous systems, and their ideal client being this very specific kind of person that's been through this specific experience, and then their specific way of doing the sessions and the energy work looks exactly like this. Like it's all so hyper specific. Um, and yet, but you know what? That actually does make sense. I was going to say, which makes no sense because I am so hybrid, right? I am the opposite of that. But it makes sense that I would be able to pull that for people because I have all the facets open. I can like align them to what their specific thing is. So, okay, it makes sense in my mind. I just had to say it out loud. Okay. So let's talk about when all of your facets are active. If you're like me, and these aren't just like dormant lifetimes or versions of you, that you truly feel like alive with these, and you cycle through these different like hybrid versions of yourself, almost like if the soul was a diamond with the different faces or facets, and it turns at certain points in your life and then you change when that happens. It's almost like you can see that version of you, like for instance, let's say the blue avian version of me. It's almost like I can see my face so clearly when I was that avian being, like shining through my high heart. Like I can see the eyes so clearly, I can see the face so clearly. Like it's so clear that that's the version of me that's shining out and has something to bring through this period of my life until it shifts again, which I don't seem to be necessarily the one like navigating the shifts. Like I'm something higher, you know, my highest self, oversoul, something else is doing that. It's almost like, because you know your soul is in your high heart, we all know this, right? So there's heart chakra, throat chakra, in the middle is the soul, and the outer layer of the soul is your current life, so my human life, and then each layer down is like other lifetimes, the next life down, then the next and the next. Well, it's almost like my soul brings to the surface, instead of staying in order like that, brings to the surface the lifetime that where, okay, well, I really need my blue avian activator gifts right now because I'm going to be working with this kind of a client and I'm doing this kind of a project. So that's what's going to come forward. And sometimes it comes forward before I even know what the project is. It just starts to come forward, and then I start to like shift, and then something comes forward. I'm like, oh, that's why that. Okay, now it all makes sense because I'm meant to be doing this other thing. So the kinds of things that happen, because it's not easy to live in this way. Like it's not easy to constantly be in change, shift, and transformation. Just when you start to feel like you've settled, it all changes again. Just when you get comfortable, just when you get, I don't know, like feeling like you know what you're doing or secure, it shifts again and it changes again and again and again. So it is definitely, it takes a lot of nervous system work or strength or stretchiness to be able to handle that. Because here's some of the things that happen every time one of these shifts happen. The first thing I wrote down here was that your look will change with every shift. So if you have been following this channel, you have seen so many stylized renditions of Jenny. Like things just, I can't help it. Like it just, everything changes. And there's another one coming. Like there's always another one coming, right? So, you know, the makeup changes, the hair changes, the way that I dress changes, the things I talk about change, the even some of the personality things change a little bit, whether it's bolder, softer, sweeter, gentler, more edgy. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, right? So your look will change really often, almost like you're experiencing different eras, and within those different eras are different yous. So I can like look back and not even recognize myself, you know, like when I look back at some different eras that I've been in, sometimes it aligns with different relationships or friendships or places that you've lived too. And you kind of like look back and you're like, I honestly have trouble even remembering that time of my life. And I just have no idea what I was thinking or who I was or who, you know, like it's just so different from who I am now. And I know that that is partly growth, obviously, but it's also this other phenomenon of this like active hybrid soul within. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that long ago. Like I can think back to when I was launching the priestess course. Everything was about like magic and darkness and shadows and Isis and priestess and ritual and ceremony. And I changed my wardrobe, I changed my hair, like I changed it because I felt so different. Because the version of me that was coming forward, that was that layer of soul that kind of like took over in a way was this ancient Egyptian priestess. And it's so fun too to be able to kind of like, I guess, rotate through these different identities, but it's also like intense. So right away, you're either resonating hard with this, meaning you are an active hybrid soul, or you really are not. And that's fine too. The next thing is that my content and my focus is extremely varied as a hybrid soul. I can't like do the same thing for a long period of time. Like I just can't. So I think that I need a lot of variety in the way that I express myself. Obviously, we talked about like the stylized look and the aesthetic. But I also need a lot of variety in like the kinds of projects I'm working on, the kinds of things I'm talking about. It's just always different. It's just so varied. So what I'm really hyper focused on and my content stuff is going to switch like a million times in 1 year even. It's just so much. The third point is you attract a very multidimensional crowd. So if you're a business owner like me, then you would notice that all of your clients are all different, all from all walks of life. I don't just attract women, and I specifically don't just attract like women of a certain age that are working on this issue. Again, like that niche where you can see that you have an ideal client because they keep flooding in. It's not like that at all. People of every age, people of every gender, people of every nationality, religious belief, like, oh, just such a, and that's cool. That's a really fun thing for me, is I get to meet so many people. I'm not working with only the energy healers or only the channelers or only the astrologers or only the authors or only the therapists or the counselors or the Akashic record specialists. Like those are just huge groups of people that always come to me. The human design people come to me. Starseeds obviously come to me, but also people really attracted to like working with ancestors come to me a lot, ancestor workers. I mean, I couldn't even, I would have the biggest list if I said to you, and it's not like I just get one client like that. I get so many clients all the time and they're all so varied. So that's another really big sign. The fourth sign would be that you cycle through the identities, which we talked about a lot, but the gifts attached to those identities. So like certain gifts will come to the surface and then sink back while other ones come forward. And again, it's all this like divine orchestration that's like very much connected to my mission here. Like if we viewed my mission as this soul and what I'm doing here on earth in order to help humanity, if we viewed it as like just a line, like it would change color. Like it would be like, okay, like this was your light language when that was really important, and now you're the activator, but now you're the teaching the channeling, but now you're teaching the priestesses. Oh, now you're teaching energy work. Oh, now it's like the gifts that come forward and then sink back and then come forward and then sink back again are just as varied. And yeah, so it's just so much change all the time. New gifts, which is really fun. New gifts coming forward all the time too. And then just when you start to really like get into that, they also take a backseat. You're like, well, I was just ready to build another program based on that. Nope, something else is coming forward. And I've learned not to fight this flow at all. I've learned that it's so important for me to just trust and go with it. And that has been probably the only way that you could actually like survive with your mind and your heart and your intact and your business intact, is you just have to like flow. You just have to trust. You just have to go with it. So the next thing would be, oh, this is a big one, many soul retrievals. So I have so many soul retrievals, especially when a new facet of soul is coming to the surface, or maybe something that I haven't worked with a lot. So every new era, every new facet, every new gift, there's a soul retrieval attached to that. And I do not think people are going through it as much as I am. And soul retrievals are intense. It's like at least a week, if not longer, of really feeling out of sorts, not feeling like yourself. I know I have videos here on this channel about the process of soul retrieval, so I don't have to go fully into it, but it's basically like retrieving like a version or a part of you that is going to be joining in with the active facets. So I just had a soul retrieval that I'm just finishing up now. That was a mantis. So I don't even know where you'll probably see me in a couple months talking about it though, because it all happens for a reason. But like, yeah, so it's just a lot of soul retrievals that are very emotionally intense and very heavy, that you couldn't deny that it's happening, like for absolutely no reason. You're having these flashbacks, these memories, you're crying, you're depressed, you're down, you're trying to emote trauma for a part of you, this other lifetime or version of you that is coming back online. But most times there's trauma to clear and things to heal, and almost every time, right? So a lot of soul retrievals. So again, this is to integrate and activate, right? So for instance, the mantis one that just happened. So I had to like feel the grief of what she went through, go through those emotions, welcome her in, with the rest of the facets, integrate her into my high heart. And then when she's ready, she'll activate. I don't have to like do the activation parts, but I do the integration. And then when that facet is ready to come forward, as in the divine timing all aligns, there's a reason that needed to come aware and alert within me. When it comes forward, it'll probably mean, okay, new gifts that come online for me, which means I'm going to create some kind of new program, which means I'm going to attract some kind of new client, which means I'm going to go through everything I just sent you. My look will change, my content will change. I'll start to attract a different crowd. I'm going to, just all the gifts coming forward, like everything just so different, right? Okay, the next point is, and let me know in the comments if this is resonate, if you see yourself in this. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. I don't know if you will or not. The next point would be very rare multidimensional truths. Like a lot of people talk about a lot of like deep and esoteric things, but your truths, like the things that I just know to be true, and I don't know where the wisdom came from, but once people hear it, they're like, oh, yeah, that is true. That's it. That's how it works. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like the weirdest, most rare things. Like, I'm like one of the first people that started talking about things like soul language and how soul language works and how it's different than light language. And no one was talking about that before I was talking about it online. Soul retrievals are another thing that a lot of people were talking about. I just thought of another one. What was it? Soul retrievals. Oh, crystalline upgrades. Everybody loves to throw a lot of big words at what that is, but I actually was able to break down exactly how it happens in the body and what you need to do to create that shift in the body. Like just like these really specific downloads that come out of nowhere, that are so rare, that really just like tie up a bunch of loose ends, and everyone's like, oh yeah, okay, that's it. It's like, what, like what, where did this come from? Why did I get the download? Why? And it'll come through in divine orchestration. Why? Because I think I got the really big download about crystalline upgrades and how they actually work without the fluff and all the fancy words. Just say it. If you understand something, if you truly understand something, you can say it simply. If you don't quite get it yet, you tend to use bigger words because you're kind of like waffling around what's actually going on. So like when I really get something deeply, I can just like say it so simple, right? So bold, so simple. And that's when that came through about the crystalline upgrades. I think that came through probably right before I created Weaver of Light, and I never even put those two things together before. But that's something that I teach people inside of Weaver of Light, so of course I would have to have that. So yeah, some very rare downloads about multidimensional truths. I've had things like that about timelines, about, just so many. Like I need a book. I definitely need to write a book and just put all the rare truths in there, but I don't know how you would make a flow of that. Timelines and universes and dimensions. I talk about dimensions a lot in a different way than anybody else. Like, so again, just rare truths. The next thing about being an active hybrid soul would be that you personally participate in other hybrid projects. So you've probably, in this lifetime, experienced abductions around the hybridization programs. And I know that there's a lot of different ones, but just the idea that you would be a part of any of them, whether it was with the Essassani, the Greys, the Reptilians, or anything else, elementals, anything, you would probably participate in one, if not more, because of who you are, because you are such a hybrid soul that you would see like the value in that. Which would mean the next point, probably more abductions than other people, or more abductions than maybe you realize. But I think that what I'm talking about being this hybrid, active hybrid soul with these active facets, always online, just taking turns, does for some reason compute to more alien activity or higher dimensional beings, if we don't like the word alien, activity like abductions, or just like experiences, interactions, visitations, astral experiences, dream experiences, that kind of stuff can be pretty heightened as well. And then one of the final things here is that you would feel called, as the human that you are, to different locations around the world very strongly. Like everyone knows, I talk about this all the time. Everyone knows that I have been so called to Easter Island. First, I was called to Sedona. And I know that now that I've gone there, what happened there was like a massive soul retrieval. And I also feel very called to ancient Egypt. I mean, that'd be no surprise, but I feel very, very called to Easter Island. And you will just have these, you just know that you're meant to go somewhere and that you will end up there one day. So you have these sacred locations that, again, become activated or come online, like you need to go there. And then the dreams start, and then the meditations start, and then the experiences start where you keep seeing it. It keeps calling to you. Like literally, I've had so many dreams where those statue heads, before they knew that there was bodies under the ground, they thought they were just heads. I had a dream where one pulled itself up from the ground and had these giant feet, and it was like dancing around, and it was saying, "Come to Mecca, come to Mecca." And then it, like, the letters came out of its mouth like, "Come to Mecca." And I woke up so confused. I knew it was Easter Island, and I knew that it was the statue, and I was like, what the heck is Mecca? And then I looked it up, and it means spiritual pilgrimage. Just random stuff like that. Okay, so you're called to sacred locations, undeniably. And you've also moved a lot in your life. And there's a reason for that, right? When you take your energy and plop it down in different parts around the world, and you are a very active, hybrid soul, you have the potential to activate and awaken more people than somebody that's more of like a two facet soul or three facet, because of the sheer amount of different frequencies that you carry, the different gifts, the different knowledge, the different activating frequencies. You just have more variety. So when you get plopped down somewhere, it's like you have a better chance of activating a lot of different kinds of people. So your story might sound a lot like mine. So for me, when I was a kid, my parents moved me so often. Oh my God. It was traumatic. It was really painful to always be the new girl in every school, and even sometimes multiple times a year, which is really hard because back then they didn't have like the educational system where things lined up, classes all lined up. I would be taking one class and go to a new school where it wasn't available. And I went from being like one of the top of my class to like really terrible, almost didn't graduate kind of stuff, because there was no way for me to keep up with that. But the story is that I just moved over and over and over again. I could not even count. I don't even know if I've tried to count how many times, back and forth, all these schools and all these different places. And then as an adult, I've moved quite a few times as well. Even since I just moved to the US, which was a big move on its own. So I made the move to the US, and then once I moved to the US, which was only like 3 years ago, then I moved, like, the original move here, then we moved again, and I moved right before I moved to the US. It was just like in the last 3 years or 4 years, I've probably moved at least 4 or 5 times. So it's at least once a year, if not more. It's a lot. Now, I hope to not continue doing that because my husband and I bought our first home last July. So we haven't even been here a year yet, but we're still like making it our home and settling in. And it's really exciting to feel like you found roots somewhere, stability somewhere. But now my travel bug, because I've made that decision, my soul's like, okay, well, then you just got to travel a lot. So now I want to go on like all these trips and do all these things. So it'll always, there'll be movement, and there'll be a lot of locations, and there'll be a lot of different kinds of people. Like, you're meant to travel, whether it's moving or whether it's traveling. It's a huge part of you. And then the final point is just like the Rainbow Warrior. I don't know if you've read the Hopi prophecy about the Rainbow Warrior, but if you resonate with this, I think you should go and read it, because it's just like talking about these souls that are going to come to earth, that are going to be the Rainbow Warrior. Why is Rainbow Warrior what I'm talking about? Because of all the colors. That's what it represents. The Rainbow Warrior, all the different colors of the rainbow represent the multidimensionality, or all these different facets being online. And those are the souls that we're going to come here and heal the earth and be the volunteers that do that. So if you resonate with a Rainbow Warrior, that's the sign. Or go and research more about that and then see if you do resonate with it. So anyway, I thought I would just talk about something really different today, and I'm very curious to see how this is going to go over and how people are going to perceive it and receive it, and also if you can resonate at all. And also, oh yeah, that's me. Or if I don't know, because I've never talked about this before. I don't know how that's going to go. But I'd be very interested to hear if you also feel like a hybrid soul with all kinds of different active facets that all take turns coming online, and that you then go through all of this transformation and change and evolution constantly because of it, and continually change your look, continually these different eras of you, continually change what you offer or work on, or who you work with, or how you talk, or your content, or what you're focused on, and cycle through these gifts and identities, and have all these soul retrievals and these rare multidimensional truths that you download out of nowhere, and the participation in the hybridization programs and projects, lots of abductions, moving a lot, called to all these locations, and feeling like a Rainbow Warrior. So to sum up, that's a little bit more into like how things work inside of me, and maybe makes more sense now when you see the outside. And I'm going to leave it there. I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm interested to see your comments. If you feel resonant to Andromedan energy, Lyran energy, Pleiadian, and also know that you're here to be an energy worker, an energy weaver, an energy healer, and an activator, and a crystalline activator, and a light language recoder, and a soul retrieval specialist, and an entity removal, and all those things, that literally is Weaver of Light. And we've only had one class, so it's not too late for you to come in. I'm still keeping the doors open. I usually close them after week 2 or 3. So we've only done one class. So easy for you to catch up. Just watch one replay. You're done. So it's like, this would be the time to come in if you haven't done it. It's certified. You come away with a certification in these incredibly advanced techniques. I'm pretty sure the link should be in the description of the video. Don't sleep on this. Go and check it out. This will literally change your business, the way that you do things completely. This is not just another single session to put in your roster. This is like the information and the advanced techniques that are going to help you to build long-term mentorships, packages, programs, and eventually create your own sacred method of healing. If you know you have your own modality buried within you, like some beautiful galactic or angelic or higher dimensional modality that no one's doing yet, that you do it different, and you just need help kind of like nailing that, that's also what Weaver of Light is for. So many people come out of this and they create their own modality from the things that they learn and have activated and brought online. So it really is for a very unique, specific soul that is a leader, that is here to like bring through their own magic, and just needs help like getting the foundations in place, and then activating their own Star Nations Alliance and what they're here to do. So, okay, Weaver of Light, go check it out in the link in bio. Thank you so much for hanging out. And before you go, please remember, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you, beautiful star seeds. Have a great day. Bye.